everyone, welcome back. We are in Orlando, Florida, and I am with my friends. This is Jessica right here.
Hello.
Can you tell us exactly where we are in Florida, Orlando, Florida?
We're right now in Daytona Beach.
Awesome. And this is their beach house. We have a pool right behind this camera, and we're having a great time catching up with old friends. And she has been working here and living here. We will do this in the form of an interview by asking her questions about her life, and hopefully this video will be helpful to teach you something about the life and culture here in Florida, especially in Orlando. So let's get right into it. All right, first question is going to be about life. She moved here last year and she had her job and everything settled up. She got married and everything. So question number one, are there any challenges to adapt to the life here in the United States, especially in Florida?
My challenge would always be order the food in the restaurant. Normally, if we do go out to eat, Travis, which is my husband, he would be the one in charging ordering. Another one is a phone call. It's hard for me to understand what another person speaking over the phone.
And I do feel that, especially taking phone calls and taking orders in restaurants, they speak super fast. So I understand that.
We learn English, but we don't learn every single food and the name of the food, right? And especially here, like nearby the ocean, and a bunch of seafood, every type of a fish, they have a different name. So all I know is salmon. Tuna, yes.
Right
Salmon and tuna. I know that too. All the rest, I don't know anything about it.
Now, moving on to good things about adapting to life here in the
Sure.
States and Florida. What do you have to say?
I'm kind of a lucky girl that my husband's family is here and he grown up here, and we have his family as the support, so it's super easy for me to jump into America life with American family. It's very easy for me to start and to learn everything about America from a local American.
They seem to be very sweet people, and I heard stories about how they've been helping Jessica,
Yes.
and giving her a temporary home when she first got here. They've got a huge house, and they gave you the nice room.
Yes,
didn't they?
I took my husband room, and his mom, which is my mother-in-law, claimed that's Jessica's room, not Travis' room anymore.
All right, next question is for people who are considering working in the States in the future, or you're planning to work in the States in the future. And the first question will be, what do you do here in Florida?
I'm a Chinese teacher right now, teaching in middle school and high school, and my major was teaching Chinese as a second language.
What kind of courses besides Chinese do you teach right now as well?
I also teach home economics. Home economic is like folding your clothes, clean the house.
She's a very, very, very good Chinese teacher, spreading
Thank
our
you.
language, spreading our culture here in the United States, playing her part as a Chinese culture spreader. All right, moving on to more general questions. We're still talking about work. What do you think are the challenges that you have met while working here?
I would say is the language. I remember the first day I started the training, all day long in English. I'm like staring at my principal, like, when are you gonna speak Chinese again? You know, like all day long, 8 hours in English environment is a little bit hard to jump in directly. And another thing is the short spelling. They would use, like, for example, oh, by the way, they would use BTW, right?
Right.
So that is hard for me. Like, what is this? With the content and the longer time, once you know, okay, I'm in fully English environment, everything should be better.
And what about the good things?
Good things is Americans are nicer than what we thought before I came here. I would think like, oh, Americans are mean, but every single one in my school, the student, the teachers, they're super sweet, they're super nice, and I have questions, I have problem, even I don't ask, they would offer their help. They would be like, oh, tell me about the Chinese education system.
Right.
Sometimes I would be like, oh, I really like this part about American education, but other American teacher, they would be like, oh, that sounds really good in China, like your system.
So what I have felt as well, people here in the United States in general, they're very nice and helpful. If they will offer help if they see that you need help, and also be bold to ask for help. when you need to, because they will be very willing to help you. Do you have any suggestions for people who are thinking about working in the United States?
The most different thing that I realized when you're in China and you're looking for a job, the first thing they would look at your degrees and also your work experience. Oh, you have 10 years of work experience. You must be very good in this area. But in America, in my school, there have like all different type of background people.
Yeah.
Some of them they retired from university and they want to continually teaching, even they don't have like a middle school, high school teaching experience.
Right.
They're accepting. Some mom they give up their job for years because they want to raise their kids.
Yeah.
But like now the kid is going to college, they're like doesn't have too much things to do. They want to
Right.
back to in their work even though they haven't worked for decades.
Wow.
And the school would be like, yes, we like you, and you are the one that we want.
Yeah.
Come join us. So I would think the suggest for people who are looking a job for in America
Yeah.
would be like make them like you, right?
Right.
As long as they like you, they don't really care about
Oh,
your
that's good.
degree, about your experience. Don't think too much. Don't worry too much. As long as you can bring the energy to them, as long as you're the one they're looking for,
Right.
you're good.
That's very different from the Chinese hiring system. And over here, they care more about your personality and your experience and just how you are, if it fits what they're looking for. So that's really nice. All right, America is known for the country that's on wheels. So driving is definitely one of the most important parts of living in the United States. Tell me about that experience with the driving.
I got my driving license after I finished my high school. I never got the chance to drive right after I got the license. Plus, China is so convenient to go anywhere. We have
Exactly.
scooter, we have bus, we have train, we
Yeah.
have subway.
That's right.
Everything's so convenient. Actually, before I came here, when I look for a job, my husband is like, you have to look for somewhere like near or close to your school.
Right.
I was like, why? Why have to do that? He's like, or if you want like riding the bike in the Florida,
It's hot here.
and like sweating
Yeah.
and start your day. No, you don't want to do that. I was like, well, I can take a subway or a bus. And he's just like laughing so hard. Then I'm here. I'm like, oh, I don't see taxis. I don't see bus. I don't really see scooters.
Where
on
are
the
they?
way. Yes, and they don't even have the lane for scooter or bicycle.
Wow.
Okay, I need to drive. I need to get a new license, and which is way easier. First, you need to pass the paper testing, which is about the rules. It's easy. You can choose to take the paper testing in Chinese.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
I got 44 out of 45.
That's
so
pretty
which
good.
is very, very good. I'm surprised.
Very proud of Chinese people. We are
Yes.
very good at tests.
And then you just need to make an appointment for the driving test,
Yeah.
which is way easier than China.
The next question I think a lot of people who comes to live in the United States will be really interested in, which is how do you really shop? Especially, I noticed that a lot of people in the United States, they also shop online. They have Amazon, but they are probably not the most cost-effective way. So she definitely has some tips for us when it comes to online shopping. How do you do your online shopping here?
So first, I started to local shop. I go to the store. I use Amazon. The thing that I'm not familiar with is paying the tax.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
every time I see, oh, this thing is like cheap, but like when I pay, I was like, why I pay this much? And then like, oh, 6% tax.
Right. They have
I-
sales tax here.
So
right?
yeah, and then I'm like, let me try Amazon. Maybe cheaper. When I first buy things from Amazon, I'm like, okay, 3 days. So I wait 3 days and it's not coming, and I'm like, waiting. And I even forgot I bought something on Amazon. One
man.
day I received a package. It was like, what's this? One day I saw the group. In that group, people are saying like, oh, we're gonna shipping things over here and we need somebody buying things together, and then we can get the cheaper fee.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So I re-download Taobao, start looking things, and like put a bunch of things in my cart, and then I buy it. I ship to the warehouse that's based in China.
Yeah.
And once we reach to 100 kg or even more,
Yeah.
and they would ship together. And whoever is the host, we
Yeah.
would call it 团长still,
团长,
right?
okay,
yeah.
host, yeah.
So the package would come to that person's house, and all I need to do is go over there and pick it up. Although it took about a month or 1.5 months,
Yeah,
I
right.
trust Taobao more than Amazon.
Taobao's great.
Yes.
Okay, that's good thinking right there. So if you're here, you can find, which I think will be easy to find, a WeChat group of people who are living here, and you guys basically group buy together, right? You get your
Yes.
things that you're not in urgent need of, and you will get here.
Definitely cheaper. We got the painting that you drew for us.
Yeah.
So my husband Travis, he went to ask for the price. The cheapest one he found is $500.
My God. That's
And
3,500
what I
RMB.
spend in China on Taobao, 200 RMB.
There we go.
I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like 10 times or more
than that, yeah.
expensive, right? I spend about 200 RMB on Taobao to print it out.
Yeah.
And I spend about 200 RMB to ship it over.
Oh, that's great. I noticed one thing that I traveled in this trip to 4 different states, and every state has a different cost of living. So we're in Florida. We're going to ask her about what she thinks about the cost of living in Florida. So what do you think?
When we buy things, the number looks similar, but like when you think of USD and Chinese money,
Right.
yes, that is more pricey. The money you make
Yeah.
is the same.
Oh.
You know, like, right, I make this amount of money and
Yeah.
I switch to RMB. It's the same money that I made
Oh,
in China, but
okay.
I'm spending way
more.
Yes, way more. So yeah, I would say yes, it's more expensive than spending money in China. That's why I used the Taobao.
That's right. So keep that in mind. The last few questions is about documentation. So documentation, there's 2 different kinds. She's going to talk about how do you get your work visa, which is something that she's working on as well, and she can help you with. If you have certain needs, you can contact Jessica. And she will also talk about a residency. What do you have to do to be able to live here legally? Which is, you got to be legal. You got to be legal. Hand it to
important.
Jessica. What do you think?
So I'm currently under J1 visa. It's called exchange visitor visa. I need to follow certain rules, and I can't use that visa directly change to a immigration visa. I'm holding teaching visa, J1 teaching visa.
Okay.
So that allows me to work in America legally for 3 years. I can apply for the 4th and 5th year. Once I finish my job here,
Yeah.
I need to go back to China. You need to work for 24 months.
That's right.
But there also is a waiver you can apply, which is if you have a reasonable reason, you can apply for the waiver. Right? So for example, now I'm married. I have
right.
the reasonable reason to stay because my
Exactly.
husband is here.
Yeah.
Or you don't have a husband yet, but your company or your school need you. J1 visa is easier than H1B, the working visa. I did a lot of research. If I apply the work visa, minimum I need to wait for half a year.
I see.
But if I apply for the J1 visa, as long as I need a sponsor and I got a offer, theoretically, I can come in 2 or 3 months.
About residency, or let's say green card, if you don't want to change your passport into American one, what will be the process for you from now to getting a green card?
Before my current visa ends, I apply for the waiver. Once I got the waiver, I can apply for the green card.
How long would it take, do you think, before your green card can be finalized? You can get the green card.
I would say 2 years, you would get your real card. Within these 2 years, you can't leave America.
There you go. This is a very informative interview for you guys about Florida. Thank you very much, Jessica, for being in this video. And I hope you find this video helpful. If you think you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and follow me. And also you can click the link below or private message me to get my class bundles. And also I will tag Jessica in this post right here. So if you have any need for applying for a visa or looking for residency in the United States, contact her straight. She will be able to help you out. And I'll see you guys next time in 闪颖 Blinglish 小颖课堂. Bye.
Bye.